Okay, so this is Math 2. We're doing the problems from homework assignments, or homework assignment number 16 to 22, and I'm going to pick and choose what I'm going to give you guys, obviously. So number 16, it says, use what you learned in the parabola lab, so basically today and yesterday, to write an equation for each of the parabolas described below. Parabola opening upward, shifting 5 units to the right and 4 units down. So we're going to do that one first. There's a parent graph right there for you guys. So we are going to graph one that shifted 7 units to the right and 4 units down. So 7 to the right means I go 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 4 units down means I go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so there's the vertex. It's going to open upwards. All right. It's going to go up like that. And we don't know where it touches the y-intercepts, but we don't really care about that. What we want to know is what's the equation. So since it moved down 4 units, you know it's going to be a -4 on the end. And it didn't compress or stretch, so that means there's no number out in front. So the question is it x plus 7 or is it x minus 7? That's the question. So it went to the right, so it's going to be a -7. All right, so it's going to go to the right. It went shifted to the right 7 and it went down 4. All right, so this was for A. Part B says a parabola that is vertically stretched by a factor of 2, sitting with its vertex on the x-axis at x equals -3. So if we're at x equals -3, we're going to be 1, 2, -3. All right, and then it didn't say it opened up or down, so I'm assuming that it's going to open up. Actually, it didn't say that. Okay, I guess you could be both. So we're going to go this way, we're going to go that way, or we can go down and the other way. So either of those would be how you would draw part B. It didn't say it's going to go open up or down. So an equation, if it opens up, would be stretched by a factor of 2, so there's a 2 out in front, and then it moved to the left 3, so it's going to be x plus 3 squared. It didn't go up or down because it's still on the x-axis, so that's what it looks like if it opened up. And then if it opened down, well, it would just be a -2 instead. X plus 3. It's still, your shift is still plus 3. I mean, your to the left, or your horizontal shift is still plus 3, and then squared. So either of those for part B. And then part C says a downward opening. Okay, so now we definitely know it's negative. A downward opening parabola with a vertex at -5, 2. Okay, -5, 2. So it's over here. -5, 2, and a vertical compression of 0.5. Okay, so we know it's going to go down, somewhere like that. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, that's a little bit better. And your compression is 1/2, so it's probably going to be a narrow one. But it should look like, let's see, y equals, it's going down, so negative. Your compression is 0.5. And you shifted to the left 5, so it's x plus 5 squared. And you went up 2, so plus 2. I don't know if you can see that. So it's -1.5 because you're going down, and then you're going to make it skinnier. I'm sorry, not skinnier, wider. Wow, that was horrible. And then you went to the left 5 and then up 2. Okay. That was 16. All right, 18. You need to look at the video from yesterday for 18 because they're all pretty much the same thing. You need to pretend like it's equal and then find your boundary point, and then test on each side of the boundary point to test whether or not you go to the left or you go to the right, and then that's how you write your final answer. All right, so look at the video from 18 from yesterday to see how to do number 18. Okay, number 19. This shouldn't be too complicated, but we've done this before, so hopefully you remember how to do this. Your main thing, it says complete the graph on graph paper. I'm a little too lazy to do that. We're just going to do this straight on, okay? Your main thing to realize is where are your zeros. So 0 for the y means this is an x-intercept. 0 for the y means this is an x-intercept. 0 for the x means this is a y-intercept. This is the x-intercept. This is the x-intercept. Okay, so now we're going to check. Not check. This is how I kind of want you to do it. If the x-intercept is -2 and +5, that means you have x equals -2 and x equals 5. Those are your two x-intercepts. All right, well, that means x plus 2 is equal to 0, and x minus 5 had to be equal to 0. It's kind of like working backwards. And then the next thing would be to do x plus 2, x minus 5 equals 0. And I'm going to do a box really quickly if you really want to. And then you do x plus 2, x plus 5, and you end up with x squared plus 2x minus 5x minus 10 equals 0. And I'm going to clean it up over here. So you get x squared plus, oopsie, not plus, minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. And now you're going to check. Since this is in standard form, that means the number on the end, or the c value in standard form, is going to be the same as your y-intercept. And lo and behold, it's the same. So we didn't have to make any changes. So your final equation should be y equals x squared minus 3x minus 10. This is your parabola for that table. Okay, that was 19. Number 20, you need to substitute. I kind of did this one yesterday, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I did something like this yesterday. If I didn't, you'll have to correct me. You need to substitute 3y minus 5 into the x. So it should look like 3y minus 5 plus y equals 3. Combine like terms, you have 4y minus 5 equals 3. Then 4y is equal to 8, so y is equal to 2. That's your y value. Then you have to substitute it back into any one of them. It doesn't matter which one, pick one. And then find your value for x. All right, so you need x equals something and y equals something. Same thing here, except in this case, I would make sure this actually goes in here, where the y is. And a setup for this one needs to be very specific. It's going to be x minus, in parentheses, I'm going to put negative 2x minus 4 equals negative 5. And you need to distribute that negative 1. So it's going to be x plus 2x, because we're going to take this and distribute. We're going to take this and distribute. Plus 4 equals negative 5. Find your value for x. Substitute it back into any one of them. I don't really care which one you pick. And then find your value for y. There's 2 of them. Okay. 21. Something about a tree so gigantic. In fact, the circumference is 102.6 feet. Assuming the base of the tree is circular. Okay, so there's your hint. It's a circle. How wide is the base of the tree? So you're basically trying to find its diameter, which is fine. So if you basically can find the diameter, which should be fine. So your circumference is 2 pi times your radius, or better known as circumference is your diameter times pi, because 2 of the radii is just your diameter. Your circumference is 102.6. So divide by pi on both sides on your calculator and get the diameter. So what's 102.6 divided by pi? You need to actually do that on your own. That's your diameter in feet. Okay, 21. And then the last one, 22. The hint was actually pretty good. So if you actually use the hint online, it was actually pretty decent. So the picture looks like this. you have a triangle right here. Actually, let me do it in yellow so I can see, obviously, so you can see the triangle. There's your triangle. Okay, and then the second piece that's actually important in this whole thing is that this piece is a four-sided figure, which technically makes all the angles equal to 360 in here. And in the triangle, all the angles are supposed to add up to obviously 180. All right, so there's the picture. So the hint was actually very nice, and it gave you the fact that since you have vertical angles going on at both intersections, then you can safely assume if you find this one, you're going to find this one. And if you find the x, right, you can definitely find this y, and since this y and this y are alternate interior angles, then you know what the y is, and then go from there. So there's your triangle, how you find the missing angle in a triangle. Find the x, find the y. I mean, the x and the x are pretty much the same. Then, since x and y over here are a linear pair, they're technically equal to 180 over here. Then this y and this y are the same, and that's your y up there. And then once you find your x and the y, technically, then the y plus x plus z, you found x and y, so you should be able to just plug the numbers in, plus 81 is equal to 360, since that's a four-sided figure. Okay, so you need the actual numbers for x and y to plug in and then find the missing 1z. Okay, so that was the homework. Please feel free to pause, go back to the previous homework if you are stuck on number 18, because I'm not going over it again. And see me at lunch if you have any questions.